Okay, so this is for the worksheet you owe me, 10.3 arcs and chords. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple of the problems from the worksheet, and then you can do the rest on your own. So here is problem number 1. So basically in this problem, we have these markings. Okay, so that tells us that those arcs are congruent. And if the arcs are congruent, then the segments or the chords are also congruent. So what we do is we set these equal to each other and we solve them. So then we get 90 equals 10x, divide by 10, you get x equals 9. Here's another one example. This is number 2. They tell us in this case that the chords are congruent. So then we can say that the arcs are congruent. So we're going to set the expressions equal to each other. So add your 39 to both sides. We get 7x equals 126. And then divide by 7. We get x equals 18. Here is an example. This one's number 6. Okay, so they tell you that the chords are congruent. So they tell you DE is congruent to GF. So that means the arcs are also congruent. Tells you that HJ is 3x plus 20 and JI is 15x minus 64. So if our chords are congruent, then these two inner pieces are also congruent to each other. So we're going to set it equal and solve. So subtract your 3x. We get 20 equals 12x minus 64. Add 64. We get 84 equals 12x. And therefore x equals 7. Okay, but go back up to your original problem or the wording, and it said find JI. So we need to substitute it back in. So 15 times 7 minus 64 gives us 41. So JI equals 41. And that is our final answer. Okay, so make sure you're paying attention to what the problem's asking you to find. Here's another example. This one's towards the end of your worksheet, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So in 13, they want us to find NK, which is this right here. Okay, and we have a triangle right here that's a right triangle. So whenever we see a right triangle, we should start to think about Pythagorean theorem. So that's what we're going to use to solve to find out what NK is. So x squared plus 9 squared equals 15 squared. So x squared plus 81 equals 225. Subtract 81. We get x squared equals 144. And then take the square root on both sides. We get x equals 12. Therefore, NK equals 12. Okay, we're going to skip 14. Don't worry about that one. And same with JK. And same with JPK. We're not going to worry about any of those. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Remind, and I'll be here to help.